because it's like, okay, you're a tank. At no point should this happen to you. You know what I mean? So with the character, he runs into some situations that kind of irked me, right? But anyway, a few of the issues that he would run into is that he had situations where, depending on what would happen in the game, like for example, AoE, he doesn't really want to take that hit. So like, for example, I can show you guys here. So if we go ahead and play this out, and let me go ahead and scoot up to when I'm actually fighting the boss. All right. So skip to the part where I die. But essentially, this boss is going to be like 3 tiers. I'm trying to get the book so I can level it up. So this boss is like 84 or 85, something like that. So the boss was hitting me so hard, it was driving me crazy. So like I'm really strong here. So please bear that in mind. I have max block chance. It doesn't matter that. I'll rewind it so you can see. I'm at full health. Okay, I'm at just about full health. Bow, dead. Okay, that's 4,000 health. And I was like, okay, so there are certain situations that will just straight up murder me. Okay, and it was bugging me that this was a problem, because it's like, okay, you're a tank. At no point should this happen to you. You know what I mean? Where she just did a rolling slam. She did your rolling slam on you and did it better. She wore your outfit better than you wore your outfit. And this should not happen. I don't care how strong this person is, that should not happen. They shouldn't be able to one-tap you like that. And so that kind of situation is what drove me into the build that I'm currently doing. And so for those of you unaware, if you haven't seen the other updates, so this is kind of picking up from where update 3 left off. In update 3, we're kind of talking about certain things about the actual build and stuff like that. And we can go ahead and minimize the screen here and I can pull this up. All right, so a few things with the build. We'll just turn it on kind of low. That way it won't bother me. All right, so there was a few problems, right? So this is my main build, right? So one, even though I had high block chance, right? I had high block chance and I had high armor. The problem was I kept running into situations with the boss where it would only affect my health, because generally when you run a warrior tank, all he has is health. And so everything will go straight to your health, and you will also draining your health. So when you run into bosses like that who can actually hit you harder than you want to be hit, and on top of that is AoE, which isn't blockable, you die. And so it's not like Warbringer, for example, Warbringer might be able to block that AoE depending on what he does in his specialization tree, but you don't get that option as a Titan. So I had to figure out a way to take care of that situation. So I tried to do that with the Surrenderer. So the Surrenderer, for those of you who aren't aware, let me go ahead and switch back to Edge here. And let me go ahead and open it up. So the Surrenderer, right? The Surrenderer. So this is one of them. So this shield right here, right? So basically it has this option that says essentially recover 4% of life when you block. Okay, so I was looking at it like this. I was like, okay, if I recover 4% of my life when I block, then I can heal myself and stay healed up and still be able to fight and everything like that. Granted, I still have time of need, and time of need, for those of you unaware, basically every 8 seconds or so, it gives you like a 600 health heal. And then I also had cannibalism, so every time that I killed a mob, I gained life. And so I was kind of running that situation, and then I was using that in case, you know, I needed a heal. That way, if I had a bunch of ads that were attacking me, I would stay alive, because I was thinking that was what was killing me. This isn't what's killing me. So the Surrenderer is cool in certain situations because it basically allows you to heal from a straight block. I was like, okay, you would think that it would basically heal you up and stuff like that, but that's not really what's happening. So when you're running Stampede and you're running Bunker, so you kind of have a quick, slow mentality, right? So quick, and then you get overran, slow, Hammer of the Gods and Sunder, and the Hammer of God strikes first. There's a reason for this. So Hammer of the Gods will strike first before Sunder. You want this to happen because Hammer of the Gods also has the ability to consume fully broken armor. It's not a only Sunder thing. Hammer of the Gods does this too. It's just that you hit with Hammer of the Gods before Sunder hits. And generally, Hammer of the Gods by itself isn't enough to break the shield of a rare mob. But with Sunder, it is. So you put them two together, Sunder won't automatically break or eat the armor on its own if it just broke it. So then you can do the War Cry, and then you can do the Sunder. That's the whole point, right? So when you run in this situation and you're getting hit by AoEs, this guy won't heal you. It would only heal you if the attack was a block. And I was like, okay, so it's not really giving me exactly what I want, and I'm still having all hits hit my life, and I didn't want that. Like that's not a good method for healing. So when I go back to my Cyclone Slayer, how he did things is with two items. It's called Immortal Ambition and Soul Tether. For those of you who aren't aware, the Cyclone Slayer leeches health. So essentially, whenever he's spinning with his Cyclone, he would leech health from you. And so I would run into a situation where I was like, okay, I need a way to kind of leech health. And so I was like, okay, well, I could try to go leech and try to leech health and then use that to kind of heal me. But the other part is Immortal Ambition, and Immortal Ambition basically says, I will heal your energy shield with leftover leech. So you can't actually, like, because essentially what happens with leech is once you get full health, leech will stop. Well, Immortal Ambitions basically says you can keep leeching and it will heal your energy shield. And that's the part I was missing. And I was like, okay, I would really like an energy shield, because the energy shield, it would have handled that AoE. It would have handled that boss that just murked me, right? And an energy shield would have taken care of all of this if I just had one. And then I wouldn't have all these problems that I'm having. So it's not so much that I need something to heal me like the Surrenderer did, or Svalin when we're talking about block chance, because Svalin gives you a very, very high block chance, but it doesn't matter because block chance doesn't block freaking AoE, and it doesn't block spells. Spells, it just goes through your elemental resistance, so it doesn't matter. You get spelled down, so they'll kill you from afar. That's what was happening. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to figure out a way to get an energy shield. And I also ran into an armor that I thought, this is what I spent all my money on. So if anybody who's watching who watched the previous videos and the previous updates, we all got rich, essentially, from running the ultimatum. So all of us got money. So we all got money. Everybody got money. Anybody who watched that video got money. So essentially what I spent mine on was this guy here. This is Warrior Invictus Grand Regalia. When I bought it, it only had 4 slots. So I bought it for 2 or 3 divines. And basically, if you look at it, it gives 10% to all elemental. Why do I keep hearing that? Oh, I see. I know what's going on. This is still going. Okay, sorry about that. So Warrior Invictus, it gives 10% to all elemental resistances per socketed rune or soul core. It gives 5% increased life per socketed rune or soul core. And then it also has increased armor, evasion, and energy shield. This part is very important. And so because of that, it also has armor, evasion, and energy shield. So I was like, okay, cool. This seems really cool. But the problem was it required 51 strength, 51 dexterity, and 51 intelligence. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and give myself 51 intelligence, because I made sure my weapon wasn't 212. My weapon only requires 174 strength, because I knew that if I had a weapon that cost 212 strength, I would have to go all the way here to this right here, this right here, polymathy, 10% increased attributes. So if we shift on that, basically it gives your strength about 40 or so strength, gives your dexterity like 10 and intelligence 10, so on and so forth. So basically polymathy is what most people go who have 212 strength, because you can't get enough strength in the tree or in your items, unless you grow some really good items, to make it so that you can wield a 212 strength weapon. So mine was already kind of low on strength, and that's the way I wanted it, because it allowed me to kind of go in my tree. And now my tree is all kinds of fancy, but we'll talk about the tree in a minute. But essentially, I was able to put all my points in my tree without having to go to polymathy, so I had extra points. And so I tried to corrupt this guy and ended up getting 5 sockets. And so I was so excited. I was jumping up and down. I was crazy happy. But I ended up putting 5 chaos resistances in there. So now it gives 35% chaos resistance on top of the fact that it gives me 25% life. So now I had over 4K health, and I was like, okay, this is pretty nice. So I have, right now I have 4,200 health But that's not what caused this. What caused this is this weapon right here, which is probably gonna go crazy, crazy expensive after this video. This is called Adziri's Disdain, Gold Circlet. And what it does is so it gives you 56 maximum mana. We don't care about that at all. It doesn't matter about the mana because we run blood magic. We eat our mana. Then it gives you 90% increased rarity of item find. This is very good. You need rarity to item find because it increases the chances of you finding rare mobs in general. We're not even talking about what they drop. We're just talking about finding them. It gives you that as well. So that's what it gives you. And then you also says 21% of damage taken bypasses energy shield. I'm okay with this. So this rolls anywhere between 20 and 30. And I was like, okay, or let me see. Okay, it's at the bottom, 20 to 25, I'm sorry. So it basically rolls anywhere between 20 to 25, and it's basically bypasses your energy shield and hits your health. We don't care about this because we already have a big health pool to begin with. But the kicker is the last one. Gain 30 of maximum life as maximum energy shield. And I was like, hold on. Let's talk about this. What's 30% of 4,000, right? So 30% of 4,000 is 428, 29, 60. So that's like 1,000 to the energy shield, right? So I was like, that's like 1,000 energy shield. That's pretty sweet. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and try this out. So I tried this out. And then I also, because it went corrupted, it also gave me an extra 22% increased energy shield. So then I was like, okay, I was like at 2,000 energy shield. And I was like, okay, now we got something, because energy shield protects you from AoE. Now, chaos damage does twice to energy shield, but we don't care, right? Because it's gonna hit our life and we still have 4,000 life. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I have an energy shield to protect me. So what do I need Surrenderer for? What do I need Svalin for? I don't necessarily need those two particular shields because they don't do anything for me. I would rather have the stats. So I'd rather have the stats. That way I can put points elsewhere and I can get my resistances back, because I had to go really deep in order to make Surrenderer work for me. So then I discovered something. I was like, okay, if you look at the tree for the Warrior Titan, what do you think is the one that gives you the most damage? Of everything on this tree, what gives you the most damage? Ironically, it's this right here. 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. And this is, I mean, I could be wrong on this, but when I look at the tooltip on this, so the tooltip basically says, you know, you go from 19,000 to 21,000 and some change. But whenever you look at your gear, the actual skill itself, it increases by like 7,000 or 8,000. Like, it's crazy high, because this is basically a blanketed 75% chance to block, or 75% increase in damage. So just blanketed. Now, of course, this is additive and not multiplicative, like more damage, but at the same time, it's one of the best things you have. Like, if you look at this one here, okay, 40% increased damage with two-handed weapons. Okay. This one here, you know, it's, or sorry, this one right here. And this is also 40% increased damage with two-handed weapons. Or this one right here, increased area effective attacks or area damage, so on and so forth. None of them is 75% increased damage with no downside. There is no downside whatsoever. This guy gives you 40, but takes 5% of your attack speed. This is the best thing you can have. Found out? There's two of them. So there's a second one right here. Offensive stance, 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. So I was like, okay, well, the problem with this guy up here is that you have to go through this. 30% increased block chance, 25% reduced global defenses. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, why would I do that? But this is a shorter path to here. So I was like, okay, well, obviously I can't do that. I would rather go around this way. But this gives you defenses to equip shield, and my defenses on my equipped shield are usually pretty low. So this wouldn't help me at all. So I was trying to figure out a way to get here to the 1% chance to block and the 1% chance to block for the more damage. And so I ended up finding out that you can use a controlled metamorphosis, and basically this is a very small ring. I repeat, very small ring. And once you put that here, it allows you to get this 1% chance to block. Because if you think about anything else that would go into a jewel, this is the best, because it gives you 75% increased damage. There is nothing you can create with a jewel that gives you 75% increased damage. It's just not gonna happen. You get 8 to 10 maximum. This gives you 75 just because you can now reach this without putting any points in. That's what I ended up doing, right? I say all that to explain how it came to be that my energy shield is so freaking high. So when I did this, and I went for this because I wanted the 1% chance for the block, I also got the ability to use Adamant Recovery. Adamant Recovery says increases and reductions to armor also apply to energy shield recharge rate at 40% of their value. What this means is any armor increases that you have on here, keyword on here, apply to your energy shield recharge rate. So now my energy shield recharges as fast as anything else. Like, it's really, really fast. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. So I enabled this. And then once I enabled it and I went to see and I looked at my energy shield recharge rate, and it was like 800. I was like, let's go. I was like, this is crazy, crazy high, which it prompted me to go for anything that gave me armor and max energy shield, which is basically everything in this tree. So I went for everything in this tree that gave me armor and maximum energy shield, and that's how you got the results that you now have, where I have 3,200 energy shield, and then I also have energy shield recharge rate at 791. That's what happened. So I was like, okay, I was going for this, and because I was going for this, I needed the intelligence anyway. And so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool that I have the intelligence, which gave me, well, after doing this and doing this, it gave me energy shield. And then once I had energy shield, I started to get addicted to it because my energy shield was so high, and I'd rather have energy shield than have a shield that healed me. That's what happened. And so now I have a shield that does everything that I needed to do, and it's very tanky. So this right here is a 47% block chance with strength, a whole lot of life, fire, lightning, and thorns, because I don't know why, but it had thorns on it, so whatever, I don't care. But really what I wanted was that shield, energy shield. So now I effectively have 7,500 health. Which felt more like my Slayer. My Slayer was the same way. He had 7,000 health. It was like 3,000 regular health or 3,500 regular health, and then he had 3,500 energy shield. But with Immortal Ambition, every time he hit somebody, it would build up his shield. Okay, so there is an Immortal Ambition in this game. It's just that it's on a belt and it sucks. So if we go back to, I think I put it in Edge. So if we go to Edge here, and we type in Immortal Ambition. Whoa, okay. I know the name of it, but I don't know the name of the, I don't know the name of the weapon they attached it to. I do know what it does though, because I had it. So I think there's one that's Soul Tether, and then the other one is Immortal Ambition. Immortal Soul Tether. We'll do Soul Tether. Oh, for crying out loud. Soul Tether. Here we go. Soul Tether. All right, basically, excess life recovery from leeches applied to energy shield. Soul Tether is what I wanted. The problem with Soul Tether, what does it say? Charm slots 1. I can't use Soul Tether, bro. If I was to use Soul Tether, I would lose all my charms. And I was like, okay, well, that really sucks. I would love to use Soul Tether. I wish they had a Soul Tether who's corrupted to multiple charm slots. That would be perfect, right? And so Soul Tether is pretty cheap right now. So if you go through this, you might be able to find a Soul Tether with charm slots, especially if you leech. I don't have the ability to leech. My weapon currently, if we were to go back to my weapon here, so my weapon doesn't have leech for health, it only has leech for mana. I'll eventually swap this out to something that actually does have leech for health, but currently I don't have that. So because I don't have that, it makes it a little difficult to heal myself because I don't have a leech, man. I would really like to have leech physical damage as life. That would make the build perfect, right? But without that, that's the only other way was through leech and Soul Tether. But Soul Tether only has that one charm socket, and I need all 3. So that's the reason why I couldn't go Soul Tether. So instead, I went this route. So now with this route, here's the thing though. When you compare him to a Cyclone Slayer, and a Cyclone Slayer kind of jumps around, and he also has a Cyclone, which is a duration attack. So basically it's he's spinning around in a circle, constantly dealing damage, and he jumps from pack to pack to pack to pack and then spins. So he's a lot faster than you. You don't have that kind of speed. So instead, what I'm doing now is essentially when I'm fighting people and I'm, lumbering around kind of thing, I'm fighting people, I'm fighting people, I'm fighting people, so on and so forth. And so here's the thing though, every time that I slam, what do? I roll out the way. Every time I sunder, I roll out the way. It's like a Batista bomb. So you basically sunder and flip back, right? Or I sunder and flip away, that kind of thing. This gives me enough time to charge my energy shield because mobs don't really hit you like that. I'm never really sitting unless I'm fighting a some kind of boss or something like that, and I go for the Hammer of the Gods with the Sunder, right? So unless I'm going for that, I'm never really staying still. So I'm always constantly moving, so my shield will just recharge. So that's the first problem, the first thing. So what we'll do, let me make sure I got the right. Okay, I think I got the right one. Yeah. Okay, just making sure. Because there's a second part to this and I don't want to spoil it. All right, so basically, let's go ahead and run a map and I can kind of explain because it's kind of hard to visualize it. The best way to do it is to see it in a map. So let's go ahead and just grab something, something strong. Here we go. This looks hard. Areas have patched ground. As long as I don't have anything that slows me down because I don't want people to get the wrong idea of what he's become. All right, cool. And we'll do this to make it complicated. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So I tried to do some stuff so I can get closer to things. That way you guys can see runs. Do I need to do anything else? No, I'll just do it like this. The tower that's nearby is already irradiated, so I can't do anything to it. All right, so we'll just go ahead and run in and just watch the energy shield. So I have 3,200 energy shield now, which is more than a lot of Sorks combined. Like Sorks, I think they can get up to like 6,000, 7,000, but 4 and 3 is way better. All right, so we'll just same old, you know what I mean? You just want to premeditate it. Ooh. What do? That's how you do it. He's coming too fast. Bring down your shield, slow him down. He was going way too fast, bro. But I mean, I can probably handle him now with all this energy shield, but it's still really nice. So now we can do a few things. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this because I don't really care if I lose or not, but I think I'll be fine. Let's go. So you lose your energy shield, true, because we're fighting everything, but it's coming back. You see how quickly it comes back? That's what's so good about it. Ooh, I think I saw a hand over here. Oh, I looked at a mob's health and thought it was mine. Y'all can get it. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it. Look at my shield. Chilling. You can get it. No. Oh, man. So I did lose a little bit of health there because I was standing in AoE. And poison, for those of you unaware, poison is chaos damage. So because it's chaos damage, it eats your shield twice as fast. That's what happened. So it went to my health a lot quicker than it needed to, but it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really hurt me all that much. So that kind of gives you an idea of how good he plays. He's much smoother this way. That's crazy. Like you would think, okay, let's get him the Surrenderer so, you know, he can heal his health up and he can never really die. No. Don't do that, bro. So, because when you look at your armor, it doesn't matter, right? Because what kills you is all this AoE. What kills you is poison. What kills you is chaos damage. What kills you is spells. It's not the physical attacks, unless that big lady or whatever, but that was AoE. That wasn't a physical hit. It's the AoE that kills you. So Surrenderer can't do anything to that. Svalin can't do anything to that on a Titan. Svalin can do something to that if you were running Warbringer, but if you're running Titan, you can't do that, right? You don't have that option because Svalin, for those of you unaware, Svalin, if you have the ascendancy in Warbringer, that makes it so that it basically makes all your blocks 40%. So even if you have a shield that has a 25% block chance, it makes it 40%. On top of that, it makes it so that it can block AoE as well. So whenever it's able to block AoE, that's a little different. But we're talking about a Titan. A Titan can't do that. So because of that, I was running into situations where, man, this is totally better than me having an actual, you know, everything going to my health pool. I like this way more. So now everything just kind of hits my energy shield, and I feel much safer than I did when I had the Surrenderer. So I just sold it. It was just no point in having it because I would rather have the stats of a regular shield. Why does it keep doing that? That's so annoying. I don't know why I still pick up Orb Augments, but whatever. Obviously Exalted Orb. Armor Scraps, Breach Splinter. I think that's it. Oh, purple stuff. Purple stuff used to be so bad when I wasn't capped, but now that I'm, what's it called? Chaos capped, chaos resistance capped. I don't worry about it at all. Clearly this guy is a, that was smart. I'm gonna give him that. That was smart. Homie said, all right, so let's actually go ahead and finish playing it. So yeah, I mean, he runs way better now. And on top of that, he's super duper tanky, whereas only he was just like a little bit tanky now. Now he's tanky for real, for real. But now you kind of have situations where, you know, it can get eaten pretty quickly, but I mean, it's not that big a deal. Okay, it's gone. Let's see how quickly it comes back. If I can stay out of the patches, we'll be good. Okay, I'm literally still sitting in patches. Okay. Alrighty, there it goes. Okay, and it's healing. It's coming back to me at 800 energy shield recharge per second. I've been trying to make this as good as possible, but 800 is kind of where I'm at on my main build. So it comes back at 800 per second. So in like 4 seconds, it'll be healed up. And that's really nice because I'm not always running. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I flip back. I can flip back, Hammer of the Gods, Sunder, and I can let my energy shield come back to me, right? So you have a way to get your energy shield back. You're not just constantly going like I was with my Cyclone Slayer. And that helps out a lot. Will you stop hitting me with chaos damage? Okay. Trying to make a point here. Okay. So if we just dodge everything on the ground, it'll come back to you. And this is just so much smoother than having anything else. Like, it was crazy how nice this was for me compared to what I was dealing with before. I was dealing with some nonsense, bro. Like, you would think like, oh, I feel all nice and tanky with the Surrenderer. Man, shh. Man, that boss AoE you one hit and then all of a sudden your life is just gone. And now I don't even worry about being frozen or stunned. Like, it's that crazy now. So I was like, okay, this is a really good build now. Like, I'm really liking this. And so we'll just go ahead and finish this up. Just try to find the rest of the rares here. Oh, there go one right there. Oh, well, I knew that was gonna happen. Well, if you're not gonna come for me, hey, I'll take that. Oh, there he is. See, because one thing that you would notice with a lot of warrior tanks is that they feel beefy, right? And so they'll kind of go head charging into battle and stuff, but they're not very beefy. Like they won't just run into like an explosion, right? Because they don't want to die. I'll run into an explosion now. Like I don't even care. And that's something that I would never do before. Now, like for example, all this lightning and stuff like that, well, most tanks will run into that, but this is, if I had something that was really going on that was just a lot of stuff, I just run straight forward into it. Like I don't have to worry anymore. That's the coolest part about it. Because it's like everything just hits my energy shield. My health, the only thing that's happening to my health is I keep eating it. But outside of that, my health is pretty straight. And I'm really liking this. So I was like, you know what? Let me just double down on energy shield. All right, so we have that. Okay, we gotta kill a bunch of people so they can tell us where the rest of them are. And even when it's depleted, I really don't care. Like, it'll come back. It'll be all right. It's not like I didn't run around this entire map and beat the entire game without energy shield. So it doesn't really matter to me. This is only like protection. Oh, it looked like you can go in there. All right, so we got that. How do you get more charm slots? From you get me motivated. Hey, all right, so to get more charm slots, you actually have to get a belt that has +2 to charm slots. When you're actually searching for this, let me actually hit P. Okay, so when you're actually searching for this, edge, you won't actually see it. You actually have to just, for example, if we're here, you want to scroll down and then you want to choose belts. Where is belt? Belt, right? So we'll remove soul tether. And then for belts, you want to go, then you want to choose charm. And it says charm slot, but it counts you as already having 1. So you don't put 3 here, you put 2. And then they'll show up. So now you have charm slot 3, charm slot 3, charm slot 3. And that's how you get it. So basically you have to have a belt that has charm slot 3 and that will take care of it. What is this one? Oh, so this is the belt that I was running previously. So this is the belt that has corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. I love this belt. This belt was great. This belt served me well until I got a gem that did it for me. But this belt is awesome because it gives you strength. And it's one of the few belts that also has 3 charm slots that also gives you strength that happen to have corrupted blood. So when we were running Ultimatum, this guy was awesome. So yeah, no problem, bro. I got you. I got you, fam. Alrighty, so let's go back to the game here. I like that you can pause the game. That's kind of cool. You would think that this is kind of more so of a live service game. You can't pause it, but I don't know. I can't remember if in Path of Exile you could like pause it like that. I don't remember. It's been a while. I really don't check these anymore unless they're like a 19. Then I'll look at it. But outside of that, I really don't care. Oh, okay. So that now you tell me. Oh, there's 87 bosses. I missed 87 bosses. Okay, got it. Oh, here they are. Okay. What do we do? Shield wall, hammer of the gods, sunder, flip back. Very simple. There's another one, sunder. And you're not even worried about it. Like, look at my shield, bro. My shield was sitting at 1600. He didn't even touch my health. Like, I'm not even afraid anymore. That's what's so cool about it. Like, you're not afraid like to go head first into something. You're not afraid to go head first into chaos damage. You're not like, this is nothing, bro. Like, sure, there's a dude here, right? I'm not ready. Could I drop a hammer on him? Sure. But it's not something that you're like afraid to do. You know what I mean? Like I can river dance in this, bro. Like it doesn't, like all it's doing is hitting my energy shield. Like it's not hurting me. And get him a nice sunder. Oh, and I miss. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was standing in stuff. Okay, let's quit playing. So that hammer of the gods, which is on cooldown, and then when you sunder, flip back. And that takes care of that. So you're not like completely invincible. There's some more things that I did that help with this. Which we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, that essentially takes care of a lot. Why can't I? Oh, I got a lot of stuff in the way. That's okay. I don't really care. Oh, I do care. I take that back. I care a little because they're gloves and they're strength gloves on top of that. How did you get the energy shield? Okay, so we'll go back and we'll talk about it. So we talked about it a little bit. Well, not really a little bit. We kind of talked about the item, but we can kind of go over, like, give you like a quick synopsis. So let me go ahead and go here. Get rid of some, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, yeah, that's trash. That's trash. This is okay because it has chaos. It's not great because it doesn't have plus to melee, but and this is also trash. All right, bet. So the way we got energy shield is I ended up getting this item here. It's called Warrior Invictus. And if you look at it there, it says plus 10% to all elemental resistances per socketed rune. And then it also says max life and it has armor evasion and energy shield. So this is what started me having energy shield. And on top of that, it had a requirement of 51 intelligence. So I was like, okay, if this already gives me some energy shield, and I was already getting some energy shield from some of my other items that I ended up picking up, so I was like, well, why don't I kind of go into it? Because when I had the Surrenderer, which is a shield that heals you, it wasn't really doing anything for AoE. I was still getting murdered. And so I was like, okay, let me give myself an energy shield. And so I did that with this weapon here, this item here, which is gonna go crazy after this video and after I edit it. It's called Aziri's Disdain Gold Circlet. Please pick one up. They're really cheap. They're only like 1 exalt. So like you can take your time with it. Just find one that's the best one for you. What you want is max mana, doesn't matter. We eat our mana in our tree. We go blood magic, which is right here. So we go blood magic. So basically all of our skill costs go to life. So we don't really care about how much mana it gives us. It doesn't matter. On top of that, we cannibalize our mana in 2 different ways. I cannibalize my mana twice. So I cannibalize it here. 10% reduced max mana for 1% increased damage per 15 strength. Obviously, everybody has to go with that. But then, let me kill this real quick. Delete message. Did it go away? Oh yeah, it's not even showing. Okay, so I cannibalize mine in 2 different ways. One here for brute strength, and then I also ended up going for this, which is in my weapon. So basically it says 10%, I'm not weapon, but my amulet. 10% increase maximum energy shield, 10% reduce maximum mana. I'm okay with this. Who cares? I don't use mana anyway. I use blood magic, bro. So it's like, so this right here, in order to actually use this, you have to put this on your amulet. Now, it requires guilt, envy, and suffering. Suffering costs like 1 divine orb. We can go back to it and take a look at it real quick. So, where's my edge? Edge. Alrighty, cool. So, suffering. Suffering. And let me turn this off. And let me turn this off. Right. So if we go to still suffering, okay, so I got mine for 1 divine orb. The person who actually put it here was actually truly selling it for 1 divine orb. So that's how I got mine. But essentially, you don't have to worry. Like if you don't have the money to buy this, it's not a big deal. All you have to do is just check the ultimatum guide that I built, and you'll have this. It takes you like an hour, bro. Like it's really not hard. So basically, this is what I've been spending my money on. So I got 1 distilled suffering, and because this guy here, this gives you the most maximum energy shields without a drawback that you don't like. So for example, this one right here is 10% reduced max mana. That doesn't hurt you at all, but it's 40% increased maximum energy shield, which you guys cannot see, but you can see now. So 10% reduced max mana for 40% increased energy shield. There's a few others. So there is this one here that has, oh, I'm sorry, not this one, but this one here. There's 3% increased movement speed, 25% increased armor, and 25% increased maximum energy shield. This one's great, except the fact that it uses envy, despair, and suffering. So it uses, I think despair is pretty expensive too. So let me go back to Edge real quick. One of them was so expensive, I was like, bro, I'm not even gonna bother. I think it was despair. I know it's the black ones that aren't great. Despair, let's take a look. Okay, so despair is also 1 divine orb. So I could have gone for that one for the increased movement speed. I just didn't think it made much of a difference. He's slow. I accept that. Like I don't need him to be faster. And so that's the reason why I didn't go for that one, but you can go for that one as well. If you feel that you don't need as much energy shield as I felt that I needed, you can go for that too. So let me go back to the game. All right, bet. So yeah, so that's how I did it. So essentially with Aziri's Disdain, it takes 30% of your life and gives you maximum energy shield. But that's not enough to get you 3,200, right? You get the rest of it from right here. So up here, I already wanted offensive stance, which basically says 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. We already have max block, right? So we run max block 24/7. So that's a 75% increase in damage. It's one of your best damaging nodes. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get this. But in this circle, which is created by this right here, which is controlled metamorphosis diamond. In this circle, it also gave me adamant recovery. Adamant recovery says increases and reductions to armor also apply to energy shield recharge rate. So now, not only do I have a big energy shield, I have a huge recharge rate too. And so that's what kind of capped me off. And then I was like, okay, then this one right here says 60% increased armor from equipped body armor, 60% increased energy shield from equipped body armor. What do we run? Right here. It has energy shield. So I was like, I was like, okay, they cooking now. They cooking now. I don't think they wanted you to have tank armor on this. I think they wanted you to have this. So I was like, okay, clearly GGG got something going on here. They wanted you to maybe do something. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to scratch the surface of what a tank can be. And I was like, okay, so mine has armor. It already has energy shield. It also had evasion. So I was like, okay, maybe they wanted me to do something. So I was like, so these right here, all of these nodes here are increases to armor and energy shield, both of them. How did you get enough for Titan grip? So I'll answer that here in one quick second. So all of these right here, right? These are all armor and energy shield, armor and energy shield. So all of those put together is what gave me the 3200 shield plus this guy over here. And for Titan's grip, so Titan's grip requires, it triples the actual requirement of your weapon, which means that you can't have certain weapons. Like for example, all of the higher end weapons require 212 strength. 212 multiplied by 3 is 636. So 636 strength for the highest tier weapons, but there's different tiers. So this one right here is 174, and then this one right here is 142. These are the second and third tiers of weapons, but they can get just as high as that 212. So if you go for one that's 174, well, that's way better, right? So 175, 350, 525. So as long as you stay around 523, 525, then you're good. Okay, well, here's the thing about the Titan. If you spec into 50% increased effect of small passive nodes, it makes it so that all of your strength nodes over here, like any of these strength nodes that you carry, so like this one here, instead of it being 10 strength, it's 12 strength. Instead of this one being 20 strength, it's 25. Instead of this one being 18 or 15 strength, it's 18. 18. So all of these put together make it so that you can have enough strength to wield your weapon. And that's what I did. So basically, I went for all of my strength nodes here, but I spec'd into hulking form in order to give me enough strength. But it's not just that. Every single item I have has strength except for the ones that can't have it. So for example, my helm. Helm can't have strength, so it is what it is. Armor, it can't have strength, so it is what it is. But everything else? Oh my God. This is why I also got rid of the Surrenderer. It doesn't have any strength. So I ended up going with a shield that does have strength, which allowed me to change up my stats so I can go for a few different things. This has 33 strength. If you look at my necklace, it doesn't have strength, but it has intelligence. What do I need? I need 51 strength and 51 dex and 51 intelligence. Okay. This one gives me 29 strength plus 12 to all attributes. This one here gives me 38 intelligence. What do I need? Intelligence. And so this one right here gives me strength and dexterity. My belt gives me 33 strength. Even my boots, which I just replaced, it gives me life, but it also gives me all the other resistances that this didn't give me. So between this and this, I pretty much cap out my resistances. So that's how I got all my strength. And when you put it all together, it gave me 523, which is enough to wield this weapon. See if I got that. Yeah, cool. So that's essentially what happened with that. So that essentially is the update for my update 4 of everything that happened. So to recap, we went over at Xeris Disdain, which is the gold circlet, which basically gives you 30% max mana. It takes 30% of your maximum life and turns it into energy shield, but it doesn't take it. It just says gain 30% of your maximum life as maximum energy shield. Because we stack health, this is excellent for us. So now, instead of we just running around with health and monsters hitting us for half health, now we have an energy shield on top of everything. And now we can block AoE and spells with our energy shield instead of it going to our health. Now, it does say 20 to 25% of the damage taken bypasses energy shield and goes directly to our health. We don't care because we're used to it hitting us our health anyway. So I just make sure I try to get as low as humanly possible. So 20% damage taken bypasses the energy shield and the rest goes to my health. Fine, I don't care. So basically all you're really telling me is that of this 100% damage I would have taken to my health, now I only take 20%. I'll take it. Where do I sign up? That's the way I was looking at it. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll sign up for that. Like AoE was tearing me up anyway. So now I don't have to worry about AoE because it hits my energy shield. Now the only problem is chaos damage bypasses it, but I'm chaos capped. So as long as you stay chaos resistant capped, you're fine. Now, generally most mages who have this and they have all this energy shield, they spec into, where is it at? It's up here somewhere. Right here. Yeah, maximum life becomes 1, immune to chaos damage. So they're immune to chaos damage, so it doesn't hurt them at all. But obviously, we're not gonna do that. We don't have to. We could just put chaos resistance in our gear, and we don't even have to even worry about that because it's not like we can get there anyway. So for us, we just go chaos resistance, keep our health, grab some energy shield, put them bad boys together, and now we are running with effectively 8,000 health plus a shield wall that's also 8,000 health. It's stupid. So now, like my shield wall here. Okay, so shield wall 8,000 health. How much health we have? 8,000 health. Like, let's go. like you know how hard it is to kill me? You have to go through 16,000 health. So it's a lot, bro. So there's so much going on now. And I know you can see Blink. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, so there's so much going on, and that's pretty much the end of my update here. And also what I ended up doing, after I updated my belt, I ended up going for bleeding as well as poison. And that makes it so that whenever I'm sorry, my TikTok thing, you have to check in. So whenever I'm going through ultimatum, if I choose bleed poison, I can use my flask and it will just heal me. So it basically makes me kind of immune to bleed poison until I get hit too many times. That's the reason why I have those there.